Hey guys, we're back again. Today we have another guest, easily our most inspirational guest. We have a Team USA Paralympic athlete. Let's welcome Noelle Lambert here, guys. So as mentioned, we have Noelle Lambert here. Thanks for coming, Noelle.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. How have you been? How have you been managing, obviously, with the pandemic and such?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was pretty crazy. I mean, with everything being shut down, but being from New Hampshire, the track actually near my house wasn't closed down, so I was still able to go to that. I was still able to get equipment for my gym to take home to do at-home workouts, so it was good. And then once summer came around, we were still able to practice outside safely. And then once this winter started to hit, it was just crazy because the place where we usually practice at our indoor facility is being used for vaccines. So we were kind of kicked out of there. But we were fortunate enough to find another indoor facility. But actually right now I'm actually in California. I've been here for about a week and a half, just for training camp, being in the warm weather. So it's pretty nice to be outside in like 60 to 70-degree weather. So I'm taking advantage best I can. But yeah, I've been very lucky and fortunate with all the resources I've been able to have given to me.
Yeah, we're both in Canada, so we're both jealous of the hot weather, definitely.
Yeah.
With that being said, too, so I guess the biggest change for you would have been the 2020 Paralympic Games, correct? Because you were set to compete in them, and then they wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest change, yeah, that was having it being postponed. But I was also very new to the sport. I was only doing track for about a year.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a blessing in disguise for me just because I have another extra year to train and get more comfortable with it because I'd only competed about 5 times. I mean, I still haven't been able to compete, but I'm
Yeah,
still able to get more things under my belt and get more comfortable with it. So I'm just taking advantage of all the time that I have. And I mean, that's kind of like all the other athletes. They're just using it as another year to train and get better and get to the best ability that they can to perform.
what was that like, though, getting a call from Team USA just a year after training?
Yeah, it was crazy at first just because all these rumors were coming around and like we weren't hearing anything. And then it was kind of to the point where, all right, we're just waiting for the phone call at this point. But I mean, it was definitely just a very weird situation. But I mean, you definitely agree with everything that Team USA is saying because they're doing it in the best interest of the athletes. So I stood by them 100%, and whatever they felt was best for us, I was gonna just take it and ride with it. But yeah, I mean, I think the first time it really felt real to me is when I found out that Canada was pulling all their athletes and they were
Right.
saying they weren't going to be competing. So then I was saying to myself, okay, this is real. It's probably going to be postponed. So I just need to kind of get myself ready for that. And I mean, it's crazy because it's been a year, but it really feels like it's just been like a very slow, like 4 to 5 months. So
Definitely.
that's just like the one good thing that COVID has been. It kind of things have kind of been flying by. I mean, we're already into the 2021 season, so it's definitely crazy to think about.
And as you mentioned there, you've only really done about 5 meets so far. How
Yeah.
did it feel going into your first one? I read that you went in your first one, and not only did you compete very well, but you essentially won the meet. How did that
Yeah.
feel going into that?
I mean, it was definitely something that I didn't believe in. I was very like shook when I won, just because I really had no expectations. I was just going there to kind of get a feel for the sport, see if it was something that I was going to be able to do. And I think definitely playing Division 1 lacrosse, performing every single day alongside people with 2 legs, that's definitely what got me to that next point. And I mean, going to the meet, finding out I was going to be competing against the national champion and that the whole United States Paralympic team was going to be there, the head coach was going to be there. My emotions were very high and I was very nervous, but I think that just it helped with the adrenaline and everything. So I was just grateful to finish the race without falling. I mean, that was just the biggest thing for me. So finding out that not only did I beat the national champion, but qualifying, I mean, it was definitely an amazing feeling just because I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm very new and training for 1 or 2 years, like who could say like where I'm going to be in that point. So I'm very excited for where I'm at right now. And I'm still continuing to put in the work. I still consider myself a rookie and that I need to be getting better at a lot of different things.
And what was it about track that after university where, like you said, you competed in lacrosse and then you go into track and field? So what drew you to track and field to really pursue this?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, track and lacrosse are two very different sports. I mean, lacrosse is all about endurance and being in that type of shape, but track and field, like for practice, it's you do one sprint and then you wait to get your breath so that you can be 100% for the next rep. So for me, that's what kind of drew me in. I mean, I love lacrosse. I wouldn't be where I am today without lacrosse, but I was ready for a change. Just playing Division I lacrosse for 4 years, having that be my life for basically 9 months out of the year. I mean, having that change to, okay, it's going to a team sport to an individual sport. So it's all on me now. And that's something that I felt was going to be very challenging just because I had always participated in a team sport. I'd never done something that's individual, that's only relying on myself. And so going into practice every single day, I knew what I was going to be doing for track. Whereas lacrosse, like you have that pit in your stomach where you're thinking to yourself, did anybody do anything wrong? Where we're going to have to run, do sprints or anything at the end of practice. So it was kind of like that PTSD, but I just like it because everything's kind of on my own terms. I mean, I do have a coach and a teammate that I practice with every single day, but it's just, I know what to expect for practice and I really know now what my schedule is going to be for that week. So it's kind of just a breath of fresh air. But yeah, I mean, I'm still getting used to it being two different sports and still getting like comfortable with it, but it's a crazy adjustment. And I would say like the mental aspect has been the toughest part for track, just because like, yeah, you just have to sprint in a line, but you don't realize all the things that go into it.
So what do you think then was like the biggest hurdle in terms of your injury and actually starting to actually run again?
I would just say believing in myself and not being self-conscious around others. Just because for lacrosse, I was the first above knee amputee to ever return playing the sport. So
Really?
yeah, so
That's awesome.
going into that, knowing that obviously you have self-doubt. My prosthetist, actually the guy I work with, he's an above knee amputee. And so he was telling me, just trying to get me to realize, Noelle, I really don't think you're going to be able to do this because lacrosse is very mobile. You have to be cutting back and forth and changing direction, changing speed. So hearing that from him, I'm like, well, he's the one telling me this, and he knew exactly what I was going through. But on the other hand, I mean, he wasn't telling me not to try. He was just trying to like get me to realize it's not going to be a piece of cake and it's not going to be easy. And that's was 100% right. I think just the biggest thing was just the mental part of it and just doubting myself, because every single day I would go to practice and I would fall or I would trip or I wouldn't perform well, and I would just get self-conscious and I wouldn't want to put myself in a position to fail anymore, put my teammates in a position to fail anymore. But I mean, having the support system I did, I mean, my coaches and the whole athletic staff, my teammates, they were the ones saying, Noelle, you're practicing today. I don't care if you're an amputee, like you're not using it as an excuse. This is what you're doing, and just shut up and take it. So, but that's the kind of tough love that I needed from the beginning. That's why I was able to actually return.
Come back to an NCAA sport like lacrosse being such a high contact sport where you're right, where you're always switching directions. You can get knocked down at any moment. And how hard was the process of getting approved by the NCAA just to be able to compete again?
Yeah, so I didn't even know that I needed to be cleared until my junior season, when I was actually getting ready and feeling that I was comfortable enough. I think it was like a couple weeks into the fall preseason. Someone told me, yeah, we're probably going to need to be getting cleared. And like the compliance at UMassel was saying, we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that. And so I was just saying to myself, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't think I'm going to, I don't think that I'm going to be cleared now and I'm going to have to wait like a year, because I know that the NCAA deals with millions of different things all in 1 week. And so I was thinking, okay, this is going to take so long for me to get approved. But when I was complaining about that, I had my assistant coach in my other ear saying, Noelle, why are you worrying about this? You're not even ready to play right now. So stop worrying about this. Just control the things that you can control. And that's a lot that she taught me. So after winter break, when I was coming back for campus, I mean, I had to do a lot of different things to send to the NCAA. I needed to send them my medical documents. I needed to have a letter from my prosthetist be sent to them. I needed somebody else who was working with me, my strength coach. I needed them to send something, and then I needed to write a personal letter seeing why I should be able to play. So it was just a lot of different things, and that was really stressing me out. But I was fortunate enough, there was like about 2 months left of the season, and they got back to me saying I was approved. So I was very grateful for that. But that was definitely an uphill battle with just me thinking that I wasn't going to get cleared, or thinking, why do I have to deal with this? I mean, I understand everything because I'm playing with a metal leg. It's of the safety of the players and everything like that. But it was definitely strange and just weird and annoying at the same time.
What was that feeling like? And like you said that previously, you had some doubts maybe about track and stuff. How much doubt did that erase for you in terms of your athletic career?
Yeah, I would say it was definitely one of the best moments of my life. I honestly didn't even know I was going to be playing that game. That was something that my coach said to me. She was not going to tell me when I was going to be playing because she was treating me like everybody else. You don't get told if you're going to be playing in a game or not. So when I heard the words Noelle go in, I just instantly started freaking out, but I just started running on the field and just thinking to myself, okay, don't worry about the crowd. Don't worry about the cameras. Just pretend like this is practice and you're just putting yourself and your teammates in a position to win this game. And then I got the perfect feed from one of my teammates from behind the net, and I was able to catch it and score. And I mean, I blacked out at that moment. I don't remember that. I just remember running away. And when I look back on the video, the best part about it is the reactions that I got from my teammates and my coaches and because it wouldn't have been possible without them. And sharing that moment with them was just kind of like the icing on the cake, and it just really made it the special moment that it was. I don't care that I scored a goal. I cared that I was sharing that with them because, like I said before, every single day I showed up complaining, wanting to quit, and they were just telling me, Noelle, shut up, this is what you're doing. So it was an amazing feeling, and it kind of a breath of fresh air because, I mean, we only had a couple games left in the season after that, but going into my senior year, it was like my accident never even happened. And I was treated like everybody else. I got solid minutes. I knew I was never going to be the player I was before, starting every single game, leading point scorer, but that wasn't important to me. I just wanted to find a different role that works for myself, and that's exactly what I did. So it was crazy, like the kind of shift it did, because nobody saw me as someone who was an amputee, and people who we were playing against, our competition, they didn't treat me like an amputee. They were pushing and shoving me because they saw the year before I scored a goal and it ended up like Sports Center top 1 play. So no team wanted that to happen to them. So I was being face guard, I was being pushed, and I loved it. I would honestly thank everybody for just treating me like everybody else.
Even you mentioned that your teammates and the opposing team, or the teammates and coaches, were very supportive, especially that first game back. Rewatching the videos, of course, there's quite a few out there, and just hearing the crowd support and just the people that were there in attendance, it's just inspirational to see. Did you feel them from the get-go?
Oh yeah. My mom was crazy, like trying to get like so many people at the games and trying to figure out like when she thought I was going to be playing. And I mean, something just clicked in her head that day. So she like invited all my family members, different friends and everything. So I mean, it was definitely very special having them there, having them at that moment. But I did not hear them or anything. I kid you not, I blacked everything out. Like I just wanted to block everything out and just focus on the game, because if I was worrying about all the other things, I would be falling everywhere. So I kind of conditioned my mind with the help of my assistant coach to just worrying about the game and the different play calls and everything like that.
And would you say that's your favorite sports memory of all time then?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm growing now with different sports memories every single day, but that's something that I don't think is going to be topped in a very long time. Just because of the moment, what it meant, and I mean, just to get it shared across the whole country, I think that was very special, because something that really resonates with me is showing other amputees out there that just because they have a disability doesn't mean it limits them. They can do whatever they put their minds to. So that's definitely something that I was very proud and thankful for in the lacrosse world, because they helped share my story and they helped me kind of create this image out there where just because I'm different, it doesn't mean that I'm incapable of doing something.
And what would you say then on that note? Like, were you into sports at a young age? What was your earliest sports memory?
Oh yeah, I have three older brothers. So growing up, I wanted to be just like them because they were all playing sports. I never wanted to be inside playing with dolls. I always wanted to be out in the dirt with them. So I was on their sports teams when I mean, my closest brother in age is 2 years older than me. I was always playing on his teams just because I wanted to be out there. And I mean, that was like the first things that I remember is being on a soccer field or being at football games and stuff like that. I mean, sports was always a huge part of my life and my family's life. So that was literally what spoke to me, sports. That's kind of what made me to the person I am today. And so, I mean, having the accident happen to me and having me think that I was never going to be able to run again or walk again or play sports again, I mean, that really stuck with me. That was why I thought my life was over. And so getting to the point where I am now, it's just crazy how much I've escalated, because I wouldn't be playing sports. If my accident never happened, I'd be done playing Division I lacrosse, and I wouldn't play sports after that. I would be done. So I'm actually very grateful for my accident because it's gotten me to the point where I am now, and I'm still able to play a sport at a professional level, which is amazing.
No, it's hilarious you say that, because even myself, like I'll like sprain an ankle, I'm out a couple weeks, or like I've torn an Achilles and I'm out for 6 or 8 weeks, and I like text my girlfriend like my life is over, like all my progress, and here you are like overcoming that. So I mean, I have nothing but amazing things to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my fair share of complaining about a lot of different things, milking my amputation as much as I can with a handicap placard and everything like that, but listen, you gotta live the life and you gotta milk it to get certain things. It's okay.
And kind of building upon what you mentioned earlier about how you were that one game, lacrosse, kind of put your name on a national level, a multinational level, and got your story out there to inspire thousands and thousands of people. And after that, you of course started your Born to Run Foundation. And do you feel as though without having that being in the limelight, you would have been able to start something so helpful and help so many people?
Yeah, I mean, I started talking about starting the foundation my junior year, like early in this or early before. That's when we kind of started getting everything clear by the IRS and sending everything in. Just because the reason why I wanted to start it, getting my running prosthetic and realizing the cost of prosthetics and specialized prosthetics. I mean, I was told, yeah, you can get a running blade, but you need to cover it on your own, or you need a foundation to cover it for you. So that's when I started applying to all these different foundations out there and just educating myself on how people get these different types of prosthetics to just live their lives the way they want. And I was gifted with a running blade from the Challenge Athletes Foundation, and my actual everyday walking leg isn't waterproof. So if I wanted to go to the beach, I would need a waterproof leg. That isn't covered by insurance, and they can range anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. So I was also gifted with another specialized prosthetic, a waterproof prosthetic, by the Heather Abbott Foundation. And seeing the work that they do for other people, I mean, that's really what spoke to me, and that's really what I wanted my life to become, was helping others, because I received so many different helping hands throughout so many different people throughout my entire journey. And I just thought I needed to give it back. And I needed to show people that they can do whatever they put their minds to. And so in 2017, or I would say in 2016 is kind of when we first started talking about it. But absolutely, I mean, I think playing lacrosse again, that definitely put my name on the map. So I was able to have that platform where, okay, this is what I'm starting. And we actually made our first donation during my senior season. And it was crazy, because it's crazy how much like in the UMass Bowl compliance and NCAA like came into it because I was raising a bunch of money for other people, and that can get very hazy with the NCAA. So I needed to cover myself on that. I couldn't use the UMass Bowl's name. I couldn't put pictures of myself in a UMass Bowl uniform like on the website or anything. So it was very crazy and annoying, but luckily I had a ton of help from my family members. I mean, the university wanted to help as much as they could, but they didn't want to step on their toes, which is completely understandable. They didn't want to do anything that they weren't allowed to do. And so being able to donate our first prosthetic in, I mean, 1 year of having it come up. It was definitely a crazy feeling. We actually donated to a little boy. He was 3 years old at the time, gave him a running blade. And so just being a part of that, seeing the reaction from him and his family, it was very special. And just having it be able to grow to where it is now, it's just, the feeling never gets old.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the Born to Run people who've gotten prosthetic legs for, and I believe that there was a young boy who was a surfer who got a leg for it. He mentioned the expense of those, and I've seen the younger gentleman as well. So it's great that you're able to help them start at such a young age, whereas even yourself so successful in 1 year, we can only imagine what these athletes are going to be able to do in 10, 15 years of actually being used to their leg.
Yeah, I would honestly say kids are a lot more inspiring than myself. I mean, if they're born with it, or if it happens at a very young age, I mean, that's all they know, and so they're very resilient. And so just because they don't really look at themselves as someone with a disability, they're looking at themselves as someone who can do whatever they want with their life. And so every time we always gift a little kid, it's always my favorite thing, because I mean, the first time the little boy Isaac, he put his running blade on, he had never ran with a running blade before, and he just put it on and ran down the hall like he's had it his entire life. Me, personally, when I received my running blade, it took me about 2 weeks to run without being harnessed on a treadmill. So it's crazy to see, and it's just crazy to just see their reactions, and it's just crazy to see how much inspiring they are. It's just nothing phases them. I mean, they're literally, they think of themselves as like LeBron James. They can do whatever. So it's amazing.
Without having these kind of organizations, like what you're part of, or what you started, and what helped you at the beginning, a lot of these people, all these kids especially, they wouldn't be given that chance. They wouldn't be able to have a future in that kind of realm. So it's just very inspiring to see.
Yeah, I mean, the Challenge Athletes Foundation, I would say, is one of the biggest foundations all across the world. I mean, they help hundreds of people every year. So I think that definitely has spoken to me, and seeing the work that they've done is absolutely amazing, because they're literally gifting kids prosthetics so that they can play sports and everything. So it's just so inspiring, and it's just amazing to see all these other foundations out there. I mean, every foundation is different in a little way, but we're all the same, because we're all doing it for one message and one goal, and that's just to get amputees to the next level. And it's getting to the point where people aren't seeing people with who have an amputation as someone who's broken. It's honestly just something that's empowering them. I never even look at myself as somebody who is with a disability now. I mean, I'm in 10 times better shape now than I was with 2 legs. And I try so much harder now, and I take things a lot more seriously now in my sports career, because I realize that they can be taken away in a second. So it's just amazing to see. And I mean, this world is very crazy, because it can be very cruel, but on the other hand, it can be very amazing. And to be a part of something bigger than myself is something that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, and I love what you said about how amputees aren't broken. So could you maybe elaborate on some of the common misconceptions that people have with amputees that you could kind of get rid of in a few words?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm walking down the street, everyone's always looking at me, and I 100% already know that they're trying to feel sorry for me, but it's crazy, because I literally wake up every single day, and I am doing things with my life that I never even pictured or imagined myself to be where I'm at today. So just because you see someone with a disability, whether it be amputation, whether it be cerebral palsy or visually impaired, they are their own person, and they are doing things that are very difficult, but they are perfecting them, and they are living their lives the way that they want to live. And that's just the main goal. It doesn't matter who you are, if you have 4 limbs, you have anything. It's just crazy, because people always see people with disabilities and think, oh, I feel so sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me. Like, I'm grateful for this. And I love my prosthetic. I think it makes me look prettier. I think it makes me look a lot better. And you know what, like, people always say, yeah, you run really well for an amputee. And the girl that I train with, she's actually my roommate here. She was in the 2016 Paralympics. she could 100% kick my ass if I had 2 legs in a sprint. That's how much of a beast she is. And so when people say, yeah, you run really well for an amputee, okay, let's line up and let's race and let's see who's better. Because when you go to like the Paralympics or you go to those types of competitions, they're not just competing at a level just for Paralympic. They're competing at the highest level. And there are a lot of Paralympic athletes actually that are trying out for the Olympics this year. So I'm very excited because we can 100% compete at that level. I mean, I understand why people think that, because I thought that way myself before my accident. I mean, every time I saw an amputee, I was like, oh, that's awful. But you never know their story. So never judge.
Yeah, so does it annoy you a bit that I would say you, like, Paralympic athletes don't get the recognition for the actual athletic success? Like, at the end of the day, you're a United States Olympic athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've been very fortunate and lucky because I joined at the time where the United States is even taking a stand. I mean, they just changed their name from United States Olympic Committee to the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So they're making those steps and they are making it draw this Paralympic world up. And I joined at the time where they were doing that. I never had to experience not being paid as much as other Olympic athletes. So I really feel for the Paralympic athletes who were not getting paid anything, and they were just doing this and had to have a full-time job on the side. And so it's just the things that are happening now, it's really going in the right direction because people are actually noticing the Paralympic world, and it's amazing to be a part of.
In that way, do you see yourself potentially trying to go into the Olympics maybe after the Paralympics?
Yeah, I don't think I could get to that level. I mean, I'm gonna give them high praise. And it's amazing, but I mean, I'm trying to compete to be the best in the Paralympic world. So I wouldn't put money on it. Because all these other athletes that are competing in the Olympics, I mean, they're just insanely amazing athletes, and it's just such an amazing, it's inspiring. I mean, it would be very cool, but on the other hand, the Paralympics are getting to the point where it's hopefully one day going to be as big as the Olympics. Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't need to get to that point, but I'm very excited to see. I mean, I have a couple friends who are going to be doing it, so I'm just very excited to see it and be rooting for them. But yeah, I don't see myself competing at that high of a level. I'm just trying to keep up with my roommate and teammate from meter right now.
If you could, though, race just against one of the athletes who are currently racing, who would it be as like a dream thing?
No, Usain Bolt. I mean, he would kill me. Right next to you, like I'm just like you. But I mean, anybody in the. I mean, it's just an honor. I mean, I come to here and I realize that. I mean, I'm practicing with the best in the world right now at this facility, and it's just so amazing to see their routine, their technique, and everything. I mean, it's crazy that I'm where I'm at today. It's surreal, and I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm at the Olympic Training Center right now. I need to get up and start training.
Kind of building upon that as well, and you just said that as much as in track and field, you don't see yourself in the Olympic realm. I did read recently about how they're potentially bringing lacrosse back to the Olympics 2028. And yes. If you're at the top of your game athletically, do you see yourself going back to the lacrosse world?
Absolutely not. I can't compete alongside the best in the world. Being an amputee, even if I wasn't an amputee, I mean, there are some amazingly talented lacrosse athletes. Maybe if I tried a little harder with 2 legs, maybe I could have been at that point. But I'm actually very excited that lacrosse is going to be joining the Olympics, and how much the sport has grown to be one of the top sports now. And it's amazing to see. Yeah, I can't return back playing. I mean, I love lacrosse. I still coach lacrosse, but I can't compete alongside that level. I mean, the level of talent that's on the United States team right now is insanely, amazingly good. But it would be very cool. It would be very cool to see.
And just for everyone watching, if you don't mind, could we maybe talk about your actual accident a bit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't read your story, just in maybe a summary, could you tell us what actually happened and how you ended up with one amputated leg?
Yeah, so the summer following my freshman year, I traveled to Martha's Vineyard just for a long weekend with a couple of my friends, and we decided to rent mopeds one day. I had never ridden a moped before or driven one, so I was I was a rookie in that aspect, and I was just driving, and I ended up sideswiping a dump truck coming at me in the opposite direction, and my leg was severed on the scene. I was completely conscious. I can remember every single detail, just telling someone, please call my parents, please call my mom. It was crazy. And it was crazy because I honestly saw someone carrying my leg around in a
Oh my
towel.
God.
It was,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel anything because of the adrenaline. I mean, that definitely helped, but it was a crazy day. I mean, I was med flighted to Boston Medical Center. But I was actually very fortunate and lucky because I was only in the hospital for about 4 or 5 days. That was the only thing wrong with me. I didn't have a scratch on my body other than that. And so that was why I was definitely fortunate, because it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I could have died. So I'm very grateful to have it happen, because there was a nurse jogging on scene that came over to help. The guy driving behind me took off his shirt to create a tourniquet, which stopped the bleeding and which basically saved my life. The EMTs and the whole fire department, they were amazing, and they saved my life. And so I actually returned back to Martha's Vineyard like a year later, just to give thanks to the first responders and everything. And it was definitely an amazing day. They always say, like, they see all these things happen and they never hear anything about the person that it happens to afterwards, so they don't know how they're doing. And I mean, yeah, it's traumatic for me, but if you're there and you see that, it's traumatic for you too, and you're like, you have PTSD from that. So me going and talking to all the first responders, telling them that my life was still, I still love my life, I was still doing the things I wanted to, I mean, that helped them. So I was very grateful for that opportunity.
But did it bother you that the town itself didn't take any responsibility for it? Because like you said, you never drove a moped before, and there you are, your first time getting into an accident where I'm sure it's happened before. So was that a situation that kind of bothered you a bit, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't put anybody else in blame other than myself, just because I was the one driving. I mean, yeah, you hear all these like awful stories that happen in Martha's Vineyard or like Bermuda with like mopeds and everything. I mean, it's, on one hand, if you know how to drive it, great. But on the other hand, like, I feel like there could definitely be more things done all around the country and all around the world to help help more people learn how to actually drive the moped and make them feel safe. Not just Martha's Vineyard, everywhere. I mean, everywhere could do its part. But yeah, I mean, I don't hold anything against them. I mean, I mean, Martha's Vineyard, the whole fire department and everything, and their EMTs, that's what saved my life. So I just always look at it that way.
People don't realize the danger they can put themselves in unless you're very experienced at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that with anything though, like driving a car, motorcycle, literally anything. Driving a boat. You just have to put yourself in a comfortable enough position and make sure you're educated enough so that you can drive it. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, different things can happen every single day. Like, freak accidents happen all the time. So it's just gotta. I mean, you got those people wanting to live their lives and do all these crazy things, which is great, good for them. But just need to always educate yourself and make sure you're doing the best that you can to be able to ride or drive any of these motorized vehicles.
With the EMTs not getting recognition, do you feel like that's a common problem all around the world? They don't get the recognition for what they deal with. People always have great support for doctors, surgeons, but it's these frontline people that really see the horrors right away.
I mean, you never realize, like, you hear all these awful accidents and you always think about the person that it happened to, but you never really think about the people that it affected, that were there, that were helping them survive or anything like that. I mean, that could have like severe PTSD and like can make someone go into like a very dark place. But I mean, I think with everything with COVID, having all the first responders be recognized for all their amazing work, I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. And it honestly needs to be like that 24/7 every single day, like throughout the entire year, because their jobs are literally saving people's lives. But I mean, I just hope that I can always do my part and always give them the recognition that they deserve, because I'm standing here today because of them.
And you had said in a previous interview that your accident was the best thing that ever happened to you. Could you speak on that?
Yes, I absolutely say that every single day. I am grateful for it. I would not change a single thing about it, just because, like I was kind of touching on before, I was that athlete that was very lazy. I only liked the game and competition aspect of it. I hated putting in extra work.
Allen Iverson.
Yep, I hated doing any of that. I mean, I never applied myself to schoolwork as much as I could. So, and I just kind of went through the motions in my life. And so having this happen to me, it really just made me stop and think, okay, is this what I want to be for the rest of my life? Because if I was that same person after my accident, I would not be where I am today. I would not have been able to return playing lacrosse. So I needed to kind of like punch that out of me. And I mean, I think it definitely matured me very quickly. I mean, I was 19 at the time, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was going to school, didn't know, I had no expectations. I really just thought I was going to end up like coaching lacrosse, which is perfectly fine. But having this happen to me, it just really made me think, okay, this is the person I want to be. This is the person I need to become. And it just kind of just changed my whole outlook on life. And it just made me realize what I wanted to do with my life. And I mean, getting to help amputees every single day, getting to be a professional athlete has definitely been something I'm so grateful for. And it honestly taught me to never go through the motions and take every workout like it's my last, do everything like it's my last, because you never know what can happen in your life. So that's just something that I always say to myself and other people. And people who I mean, I always tell people who are in high school or in college, I'm like, don't take it for granted. Don't complain about it, because like this could be it. Like you could be done playing sports. You could be done doing anything that you want to in your life, because you never know what's going to happen. And you don't want to look back one day and regret it, because trust me, that sucks. I mean, looking back, I could have been one of the top lacrosse players in the world if I applied myself. I mean, you never know. And if I applied myself in school, I could have been going to one of the top schools in the country. So, I mean, that feeling sucks, looking back and regretting all the things that what could have happened. So that's just something that I never want to happen again. I just always want to leave it out there.
And is there anything up to this point that you feel like you haven't accomplished that you want to, whether it's athletically or not?
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting into snowboarding. So
really awesome.
Maybe Winter Olympics. And,
so we're gonna see in Canada soon, right?
Yeah, that would be unreal. But yeah, listen, I'm ways off from that. It would be very cool to go to the Winter Olympics. But listen, I got my eye on, I think it's Milan 2026. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I got my eye on that. I mean, I never say no to anything. I mean, it's crazy because I'm trying all these different things now, and who knows if I'm actually going to do it. I just want to learn how to do it, just to be fun, have fun with my life, and just travel the world. That's definitely something I'm very passionate about. But yeah, you never know.
Do you feel like you need those kind of like ambitious goals to go out there and want to do something like that though? Like 2026 Olympics, it seems ambitious, but to you, it's going to wake you up and it's going to get you out there every day.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just that person that's never satisfied. I'm always looking towards the future, looking forward to doing different things that can make me feel satisfied with myself. But yeah, I would say it's just, that's what speaks to me. That it's not what motivates. Like, I'm not going to be like, I need to go snowboarding like next week so I can get to this point. I mean, I'm just kind of having fun with it right now. And I mean, it's always looking above and looking to grow different things. Like my foundation, I want it to be where the Challenge Athletes Foundation is one day, but I know that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years and years of a lot of hard work and a lot of fundraising and a lot of raising the funds for that. But I'm always looking for bigger and better things that I can do with my life.
So with that competitive edge, would you say you like to win more or you hate to lose more?
You know, I mean, I hate to lose, but it's crazy with the track and field world. Like, I mean, when I came in fourth at the World Championships, I felt like I won that. Like, I felt like that was a win because I broke a US record, and I was competing in my first ever Paralympic event against the best in the world. So it's just all about like your own self and like what you view as wins. Like if I go to the Paralympics and I don't place in the top 3, that's not going to be a loss for me. I mean, I think just going there and applying myself to the best, I think that's going to be a win. But I'm very competitive with other things. Like I'm very competitive with the Patriots and the Celtics. That's just always so tough to watch and to lose in. But I mean, yeah. So myself, I kind of give it to I give myself a little slack. But everybody else, I'm like, yeah, no, we need to be winning these games. Like I don't know what's going on with the Celtics right now, but they're completely crapping the bed.
So what was it like meeting the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Brady then?
Oh my God. Honestly, like one of the best of my entire life. I honestly blacked out, didn't even know what I said to him, but having him sign my leg was, I mean, I would say that was right up there with returning to play lacrosse again, meeting him. And actually, I don't know if you know Camille Kostek, Gronkowski's girlfriend, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Yeah, so I actually just got picked to do a secret photo shoot with her, and so I'm praying to God Gronk's there, but he's not going to be there. But
he's gonna be. He's gonna come in a tiger suit, and it's gonna be.
He's gonna run. He's gonna run on the beach and be like, yeah. Nah. I mean, getting to meet my idols like that. I mean, it's always an amazing thing. And I mean, Tom, he was the nicest guy, and like always, he kept like wanting to have a conversation with me, and like I felt bad. I was like, you don't need to talk to me. Just sign my leg. Like that's all I need. But yeah, it was definitely something that I'm always gonna be appreciative of. I mean, even though he left, he always, I mean, what he did for New England, I mean, is amazing, and you can't hate that man.
Trust me, I've been a fan of Tom Brady since the first Super Bowl, so absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you say that you watched a little more Tampa football this year as opposed to previous times?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because Gronk was with them. I mean, it was tough not to. But it was just so hard. Like, I felt like a jealous girlfriend. Like, you don't know whether to root for him or not. Like, you want him to win, but on the other hand, you're like, what I wanted to happen, I wanted them to win as long as the Patriots won. When the Patriots lost, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I mean, I'm so happy for Tom and for Brady and like everybody who he was able to affect. I mean, he literally went there and won so many people a championship. So that's amazing.
And are the Celtics going to win this year?
I don't know. No, they need to trade a few people. They need to get their things together. I don't know.
Yeah, we seen them, of course, as we're both Canadians from Mackenzie's from the Toronto area, and being Raptor fans, just seeing them beat us last year, and then them kind of lowering a notch this year was kind of a good feeling on my end, even though the Raptors are doing even worse. It's a good feeling to know that Celtics aren't just crushing us right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think something's gonna happen very soon where they're gonna make a big trade. I mean, I'm not gonna rule them out, but it's gonna be very difficult to see them beating Milwaukee or Brooklyn or any of those other powerhouses. But I'm always rooting for them.
And so, who's your favorite athlete of all time? Then would it be Tom?
Yeah, it would absolutely be Tom. Yeah, definitely.
That was an easy question.
I honestly just had to change my screensaver. I mean, he was my screensaver for like 2 years. I was like, all right, this is getting a little sad. I need to change it.
All right. Now you need to change it to him tossing the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, it was me and him for a little bit, but maybe, I mean, that was a great photo. Or the one of him like drunk. Maybe that one was good. I don't know if you saw the one that said like almost Friday and he's like being held up. Like that was an amazing shot.
And just before we let you go here, I know you spoke about your organization. What's your guys' future plans? Like, is there anyone who we could go on and donate to? Where could we donate to actually help your 11th potentially prosthetic leg get through?
Yeah, so we're actually in the works of doing our 11th and 12th one, hopefully within the next couple months. But you can follow us on any of our social media platforms at the Born to Run Foundation. And you can go to our website if anybody wants to make any donations, www.theborntorunfoundation.org. We are going to be doing like an online virtual fundraiser to raise funds for one of our next beneficiaries. She's 6 years old. We're going to be giving her a waterproof prosthetic. So that's hopefully going to be open in March. We're hoping. So yeah, getting this out. Anything helps. It's greatly appreciated, and we're grateful for the support.
Awesome. We appreciate you coming on, Noelle, as well. We'll definitely take a look at donating to the fund. We'll definitely promote it as much as we can for you. We, again, thank you for your time. And again, you're one of the greatest inspirations. If anyone hasn't seen any of your previous interviews, you're just so positive, and we can't say any more great things about you.
Thank you guys so much. It was an honor to be here, Spain. Thank you for allowing me to share my story and helping me get to the next point.
Awesome. Thank you, Noelle. We'll see you in gold soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to go to practice right now and get that gold.
All right.
Good one.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.